And we are up. Just make sure that the sound is working, otherwise I'll be in trouble if they yell at me. Does the sound work? Yes, it does. There we go. Right, good. Yeah, just remember that the microphone on the camera still works as well. Good evening, friends. It's what keeps me in check. Welcome this fine, damp Thursday to Littleport Christmas. Start as you mean to go on. Welcome to Littleport Christmas Spiritualists. Welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. I'm just going to blame you two, it's fine. Welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists this fine Thursday evening. Thank you all for coming along and supporting in what is, quite frankly, quite wet weather. And we do so appreciate it. But of course, not many of you aquaplaned on the way here, you know. I'm not saying too much, but welcome along, and please give a big, huge Littleport welcome to a dear friend of ours. Please welcome Nicola Warrington. And I don't know who's more surprised, Nicola, me, or all of you, that I actually got a name right this week, you know, because I do have a record of such things. But welcome along, everyone, and thank you for coming. And do send your love out to Nicola during the service, who's here to prove that life is eternal. And continue to send healing, of course, to Gina, who would have been sharing the platform with Nicola tonight, but she's a bit poorly, so send your loving thoughts throughout the night, and especially when we have our healing silence led by Tony later on. Some notices, my friends. The world of spirit has been busy, but then so has the earth plane too. Because coming in the not too distant future, I've just seen some provisional designs, and there will be a poster coming soon to promote the Church Open Day, which is being run by Eunice and the White Feather Shamanic Drum Healing Group, taking part to something really, really good to look forward to. So once that poster is up and once Eunice says, do it, and yes, I did deliberately do the Star Wars voice. Once Eunice says, do it, then the word will be spread and the opportunity to come and take part in an event that will be showcasing the talents of the church members themselves. So it's something to celebrate. So well done, everyone involved, and details will follow soon. Of course, there is no drumming this Sunday or workshop this Sunday because it's our weekend off. Woo! For some of you anyway, I'm working. Just in case you thought I'd forgotten, I am working on Saturday. But when it comes to things coming up, of course, we've got nothing this weekend, but there is something the following weekend. If anyone is interested in putting your name down, you can pay in advance or pay on the night. But if you could put your name down so we've got a rough idea of numbers so we can count the tea bags and make sure there's enough for 1 per 10. On the 5th of October, here in this very hall at 7:30, there will be a demonstration of mediumship from the wonderful Karen Wood and some bloke called Nick. Karen and I met on SPTV. We were co-hosts of the Monday show together for a good long time. And although I have stepped back from being a regular host, I haven't stepped back from my friendship. And the fact is, we'd never actually physically met before, even though we'd worked together all that time. So we decided, what better way? Should we have a cup of tea, go down the pub, have a meal, have a day out? No, let's do a demonstration of mediumship. So that's what we're doing. So it will be 7:30 in this hall. Doors will open at 7. It's £10 for the two of us, and it should be a good night. And of course, the kitchen will be open. So something to look forward to and put in your diary if you're free on the 5th of October. Believe it or not, that's it for the notices this week. But I would now like to start this evening by opening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, divine, universal source of all creation, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under a banner of love, of hope, and of friendship, to witness your proof and your truth that life is indeed eternal. As we place this service in your care and keeping, Great Spirit, we do, of course, ask for all those present and all those not present, in times of need, in difficulty and pain, uplift them, Great Spirit. And as we place this service in your care and keeping, we make the statement as ever, that everything we do is in love, truth and light. Amen. Well, friends, time to say a word or three about the world of spirit. And I know sometimes I go very hard line on philosophy. Sometimes it will be flowery. Sometimes it will be very interesting, but sometimes a little bit above the norm of everyday life. Concepts like that need discussing, but everyday life is more important when it comes to spirit. And I'm reminded because the conversation was had on Monday, quite a lot, conversations I've had in the past, and then a conversation even this evening about spirit and photographs. Now, one of the things that I learned very, very early on when I came into this way of life is that you've got to be very, very careful. I know where that came from now. The world can be, of course, full of trickery. There are those that will make use of us as being open to the world of spirit to try and pull the wool over our eyes. When you have an event and you see an aura photography, Curlian, what you should always do is ask them about their camera. And if they're interested in telling you all about it, you know you got someone genuine, because they want to tell you all about it. If someone won't let you see in the back of it, it might be because there's a pane of glass and 6 adjustable LED lights that they can shine onto the glass and take a photo of the glass and diddle you out of some money. Do come in, keep coming. Oh, you can go in there first if you want, I don't mind. I don't blame you, especially the weather as it is. But yes, so we do have to be careful because the world can be full of trickery. But there's one thing that can't be faked. When you are taking photos, when you are out and about doing things, and suddenly a recognizable face appears on a digital screen or on a piece of paper, and people will say, why would they do that? How do they do that? Without considering the question, how do they put that information in here or in there or in any of us? Spirit are quite clever, and they are energy, and they are able to make use of anything that runs on any kind of energy. Us, cameras, computers. Spirit have always upgraded and updated throughout our entire history. From the early days of starting along, where men and women came out of caves and looked up at the sky and saw a big fiery ball and said, oh God, hello. From those days through to the days where they would poke, as my ancestors used to do, stick a poker in the fire, to picking up cards, to opening a book, behave yourself, you, to opening a book, to turning on the radio and getting a song and a message in song. Spirit have always used whatever's around us to reach out to us. And it doesn't matter whether it's new or old or borrowed or blue, they will make use of anything in order to get the message across. So if you are out and about or you're using your phone and suddenly you take a photo and there's a recognizable face pop up, don't be surprised and don't instantly dismiss it, because Spirit will make use of anything at their disposal to say hello, and they do. So look out for these synchronicities and look out for these things that happen in your daily life. Be it on a speeding ticket, for example, or be it just at a family event. Know that Spirit will always make sure you find out that they are around. All we have to do, my friends, is just listen and take note and be aware that there is something wonderful out there, the universe of Spirit, and they're always watching. So thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And so now, friends, I am going to hand over for a reading. I've made it really, really difficult for her tonight to make that one tie in, or should I say difficult for Spirit, but I'm sure that we look forward, of course. It's been a couple of weeks, but we now have to welcome back to the front for one of her readings. Please welcome Eunice.
Hello.
Hello.
There's an echo.
Well, I just thought it'd be polite that somebody answer you.
Follow that. Right. I went to a shelter. Those puppy dog eyes. They were all so gorgeous, but all I heard was their cries. Please, someone love me. A plea from their faces. Please take me home, away from these places. I did have someone with me, but he left as we started. Not through not caring, but just broken-hearted. To see so much sorrow, not easy to take. So I must make a difference, a choice I must make. Well, I did make a choice. The joy was for just two, because at the time that was all I could do. A small act of caring will go a long way. Just do what you're able and make someone's day.
Brilliant. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely right too. Thank you, Eunice, and good to have you back up here doing readings. Of course, I will be reminded by Eunice to say that if anybody does want to do a reading, stick your name down on the list, please, because she just looked really excited when I said that. So, you know, maybe she wants the odd week off. But yes, if you're interested in giving a reading, and I know you're not the only one who has, of course, there's been a few, but the option's there for everyone. Come up, share your favourite words. You can come in, dear, it's fine if you want. Oh, right, okay, that's fine, that's fine. So now, my friends, one of the most important parts of our gathering, healing. It is essential in times of need. It is essential in times of compassion to send out our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering. And to lead us in that and explain how we're going to do it, I will now invite our healing leader, Tony, to the front. So please welcome Tony.
Well, thank you. And if any of you are wondering, yes, I was the one who ran away from the shelter. From the healing book tonight, when we get to it, please put your thoughts to these people. Sue and David, Gina, Kathy and David, Sylvia, Jenny's cat. Okay. Jenny's cat. Amanda, Roger, and Alan. Well, so we'll just call it cat. Is that okay? Fine. So thoughts for the cat that's astray in Mildenhall. Waiting, even worse. Don't they don't eat them there, do they? They don't eat them there. No, it's okay then. It's all good. Oh dear. Best get on with the healing, I think, before I'm in even more trouble I am already. It is traditional at this point of the evening that I say a few words. Healing, as Nick said, is probably the most important thing we do here. So, Great Spirit, if you would, at the right time, when the healers are there, send your powers down through them to the people who need the healing. And the more of you, the more times we do it, the more expansive it becomes and the greater its power. So if you would like some healing tonight, please raise a hand and just keep your hands raised. If you're happy to give healing tonight, please go to where there's a hand raised. I love it when everybody runs around. I'll come up the back and you'll go there. I'll come and do one back there. Fine. Good. So healers, please call upon your masters, your recipients, whoever. I know. And proceed. Thank you, healers. If you can just bring yourselves back now. Thank you. And as I say every week, thanks to those of you who asked for more than one reason.
I second that. I do second that, and thank you to Tony, and thank you to all of the healers each week giving their, that's it, you got it, nice one, giving their love and their thoughts and their time to be channels and conduits for the world of spirit, and of course that energy we were talking about a little while ago. So thank you all, and as ever, thank you for asking if you did. It's a good thing to do. Well, friends, in a couple of seconds, nay, minutes maybe, depending on how quickly I get through the intro, we are going to be handing over the rest of the evening to the lovely Nicola, who's going to take us through her demonstration of mediumship. Now, of course, should she come to you, please answer in a clear voice. Yes, no, don't know. If the curtains start twitching and the chairs start spinning around, you can follow me. I'll be the first one out. But to let you know in advance, the exits are there, through there, and there's one through there as well. But most importantly, to remember that if you do come to our Halloween event, where it is a Thursday and it is Halloween, when I say curtains twitch and chairs spin, they sometimes do. Not because of spirit, because of a bloke with fishing wire and strobe lights, but that's by the by. But please have a wonderful evening. Send Nicola your love and enjoy this time connecting with spirit. As I say, please welcome Nicola Warrington.
Well, good evening, everybody. And it's nice to see so many of you on, well, quite a dreary night. That doesn't mean it can't be bright and full of energy in here. Okay. Anyone who hasn't seen me before, I mainly work through clairsentience. So I feel, I don't sort of, you know, so if somebody had like an illness, they'll give me that feeling. If somebody had an ailment, they may give me that. If I say that I'm seeing something, that means they're actually placing an image in my mind, just so that when I'm working, that will just give you an idea of what's going on and how things are progressing. Okay. As I was sitting there, I was actually drawn to that lady there with the green in the hair at the front there. Okay. Is it okay if I work with you this evening? As I was sitting there, I felt as though I had a grandmother with me. Does that make sense to you? Okay. And as I was sitting there, she was saying she's been very concerned about you recently. She was just giving that general sort of like grandmotherly feel. She may not have been with you all the time, but I do feel that when she was with you, she could always tell if there was something either wrong or out of place with you. And I do feel that she has come along this evening to give you that sort of healing. I want to say an inner healing, because I feel it like there's something missing. That's the impression that she's giving me. I don't feel that she was an overly tall lady. I'd say definitely shorter than me. Probably about 5'4", 5'5", something like that. That's what the impression she's giving to me. And I do feel that when she was here, she was someone, if you felt that you weren't able to go to your own mother or to another, like one of your aunts or something like that, you could always go to grandma. She's just given me that, like, grandma knows best. And I do feel that there was always that sense of sort of security with her. You knew that whatever you said to her, I do feel that it stayed with her. It didn't, you know, she wouldn't betray that confidence. She is saying well, she's telling me, but I won't obviously say what she's directly saying. But you've been through some stuff, my girl. But despite that, or in spite of that, look at you now. And, you know, she's giving the impression that you're very much a fighter. There have been times when, as such, you've been down on the ground and you've had to pick yourself up many a time, as she's the impression that she's given me. But it's almost like you're on like a spring. It's like you go down, you come back up. And this has happened a lot of times. But the strength and resilience that she says you have to be able to keep doing that, that just shows how strong of a person you actually are. And I do feel that there may have been times when you have doubted yourself and, can I do this? How can I keep coming back? But she is the one, although I would think both of them have been around you many times and they have helped pick you back up. And I do feel that this is something you will have noticed. It's almost like when they see you with either with a problem or in trouble, I can just see if both of them just like coming in and just being there to help you. And they both feel like such warm, caring people. And I do feel that there's something that, how can I put it? Things have been a little rough lately, but again, you're finding that strength and drawing on it to get you through. And something that I am being reminded of by them, you are never given anything more than you can handle. It may seem like at times that you're thinking, why me? Why is this happening? How is it going on? But the fact that you've come to where you are now, you know, again, they're just, and this is, to me, this is signals the importance of what they're saying. You know, that you will always have that strength. You know, there's nothing that you can't do when you put your mind to it. And when you do need that help from them, you know, just put that thought out there. You know, they may come direct to you, you may see a sign, you know, but they will always show that to you, show you that they're there. Although I do feel that you know when they're about. You know, and just seeing that, mention them, your face has just like lit up. It's like what the energy that they brought with them, it's just again to help lift you up. You know, and apple pie. Right, it's just that I just had this image here, this like a freshly made one with like the sort of steam coming like out the top of it. So that makes sense. And I do feel this is something that either one or both of them would have been good at when they were here. And that, again, that draws them to you because it's almost like you're following on the tradition of the apple pie. You know, so don't be surprised, you know, when many, many years down the line, and they'll have a party and all you'll be eating is apple pies. You know, it's like that sort of just to sort of bring that smile and upliftment to you. But, you know, just never forget who you are, what makes you who you are. You know, if someone says something that doesn't feel right to you, then you will know. They say you will know. You know, and just, it's not easy, but just take that step back. And, you know, you're not being selfish if you're doing something and it's not, how can I put it? If it's not to the detriment of others, then you aren't being selfish. It's important for you to take the time you need for you. Shut yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes if you have to. But even if it's just that short time each day, then make sure you do it. Okay, that will just give you that little bit of peace away from whatever's going on in life. And what else have we got? And they want to leave you with a nice thing. Not brilliant on flowers, but they look like a nice bright bunch of carnations and nice big bar of chocolate. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? Flowers and a big bar of chocolate. So, I shall leave their love with you and thank you for working with me. So far, it seems like I think we're going to be on the grandma bus tonight. Got another grandma coming in. Directing me over to this side of the room. Feel she's directing me to you, Eunice. But she would have known you. And I feel it's more of she has been watching you and how you've progressed over the years, especially in this environment and this way of life. And I just feel with her, there is such a huge amount of pride. Like if she could have been here, I do feel to see this, she would have been just over the moon. She sees all the work you've done, how hard you've worked to get where you are today. And you still have so much further to go. She's showing me a long path. There is a long path. Your journey, she's saying, is far from over. There is so much more for you to do. And I know, recently this year, you've taken a large step on that journey. And I do feel there'll be more to come, says the wink from over there. So, yes, you're going to be busy. But even as though you say you didn't know her, I do feel that she has been with you a lot of the way on what you're doing. She's very interested to see what's going to happen next, how things are going to go for you, how life's going to go. And I do feel she was with me when you were here doing the reading. And that's something else. Your words have the power to change so many lives, and all for the good. There's nothing but goodness and kindness within, and that will always come out, and that will always be within the words, and your words will always be for the good. So however they come to you, don't be surprised if somewhere down the line, she's just showing me a book. So I'm not saying it doesn't feel like now, but somewhere down the line, keep everything you've written, and one day, then you'll be surprised. Whether it's just something you do for yourself, or whether you go as far as publishing it in some way. There'll be so many people that will be able to take stuff from the things that you've written. It's like almost like a sort of a spiderweb effect, just going out and covering. You will be able to have an impact on more lives than you ever could have imagined. And and this is some way down the road, but I do feel it's what she's going to, and she will help you with it as well, I do feel. So, and okay, different. You're saying you like your rock music a bit? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But use, if you can, use some of those lyrics from your favourite songs. She's just saying your favourite songs, not naming specific ones. Use those as inspiration, to like as a tangent, to read a line, focus on it, and see where it takes you. You'll be surprised. So some of the songs you've listened to over the years, you'll suddenly find yourself, I feel, being drawn to more of them. And that will take you further along the pathway. So I'd like to leave this grandma's love with you, and just know she's watching you. And also there to help you and guide you. So thank you for working with me. Oh, I just can't get the staff these days. Well, you can't sack them because you don't pay them, so. Right. But to come to the lady there in the leopard print top. Feels as though I have a gentleman here for you. He feels as though he's on a grandfather level with you. Does that make sense to you? And he's, oh, crikey, he's making me want to stand up quite, I mean, I'm tall anyway, but to sort of really stand up quite sort of tall and straight. So to me, he feels like either he was in the forces, or he led what some would call a regimented lifestyle, in the sense that he had a certain way he did things and it had to be done in a particular order. That makes sense to you? Okay. All right. Saying that you've needed some help recently. You've needed some help recently. And I do feel that he's come through to say that, you know, he's been there, and he's been giving you what strength that he can. You know, he knows that there have been some very challenging times, to put it mildly. And I do feel, though, that as when he was here, as is right in this way, you know, he's not someone that would go into detail, and it's not to be able to go into detail here, but he's saying, you know. And I do feel when he was here, he was quite a private gentleman. He feels, I almost want to sort of feel closed off a bit. It was of a time when men in particular weren't open with their emotions. That's what he's trying to get across. But seeing some of the things that you've been through, and the fact of how long he's been over in the world of spirit, I do feel that that has given him more of an understanding, and that's why I feel that he's drawn to you to help you with what's going on. The lessons that he's learned, it's like he's trying to pass them on to you. You know about a ginger cat? Right, because he's just come in now, and I can just, whether it feels like there's one up and one down, but I just get this image of it kind of running in and out of the chair legs. And it's like it's just come, it's either one that's come to say hello, or you have one now which is in need of some attention.
This is my stray that's in my house.
Right. It's like he's saying it's like you find them sort of like it's like they know to come to you.
Yeah.
It's like and it's like they're just drawn like a magnet, because they know that you can help. However it is that you're helping, they know that. It's not just people that have a knowing, it's animals that have a knowing too. You know, I get the impression as well that when you could go anywhere, whether it be like a zoo, a park, a river, and it's almost like the animals, they just come to you. Not quite, well, I think there's also somebody else here who feels like they've got a, should we say, a sense of humour, almost a modern day Dr. Dolittle. You know, and this feels like it, like somebody like an uncle, not a, yeah, he's an uncle is what I'd like to say, who had a good sense of humour. And he's like, well, I can't quite say here what, he wasn't rude or harsh with it, but I think he had a few, shall we say, choice words at times. But it does feel like generally he was a very open, well-liked character, and definitely he could give as good as he got at times if it was necessary. But again, he does come through with a lot of love and respect for you. And yeah, I do feel your granddad's been keeping him in check. So
Yes, I think he would have done.
you know, it's just that kind of thing between them. It's, you know, I do feel that as much of a character as he was, it doesn't feel like he ever sort of really crossed the line. It feels like he had a certain level within him, and he thought, no, that's, you know, he didn't sort of push it. So he's off down the pub now. So just coming back to your granddad, I do feel that you know when he's around you. I just get that, whether it be a little, sometimes it might be a little sort of touch, or even the aroma of a little bit of either aftershave or something that he would have worn. I just get that impression with him. Okay. Keep going, Miguel. He's just giving that thing, you know. You do so much for so many other people that, you know, I feel like there's a whole line of people up there behind me, and it's almost like they all want to give you a round of applause for all the good that you do for everybody, you know. And I do feel that, you know, now that he's got that message across to you, he's happy, you know. He's going to go back now, but whenever you need him, he will be there for you. So please take both of their love, and I'll leave that with you. Thank you. I'd go to the young lady at the back with the stripy top on. Am I okay? Is it okay to work with you? Okay. Got a granddad coming through on your mum's side of the family, I feel. I do feel that he's been around you quite a bit recently, there's a little, you've got a choice to make, but you're not sure which way to go with it. That makes sense to you. And I do feel that you have more options than you're aware of. He gives the impression that you've just been focusing on a couple of things. He wants you to expand your view, look at the bigger picture. You know, there are so many choices in this day and age. But I do feel that if you just put it up there to him and say, can you help me with this choice? Can you give me a sign as to what should be the right way to go? And I do feel he's going to help you with this. Yeah. He's saying that, I'll put this in a nice, good way, not had the easiest of lives. That makes sense to you. And I do feel that he's going to help you with this. Yeah. You've not had, he's saying that, I'll put this in a nice, good way, not had the easiest of lives. That makes sense to you. but he's saying that, as with the young lady over here, that you're another one of life's fighters. You know, you can, for as much as you may not think it, you are a lot stronger than you believe. You know, he's giving he wants you to take a stand. You know, be a strong. He says you're a strong, capable, and able person. You know, and he just wants to give you that help going forward. And I do feel that when he was here, he had a lot of time for you, and vice in the same way, you had a lot of time for him. You know. You will make the choice. He says, I will help you to make that choice. You know. Don't be afraid. As scary as it might seem, you can do it. You will do it. I feel that if he'd have still been here, he would have been giving you all the extra encouragement to take that chance. Because sometimes in life, if you don't take a chance, then you'll never know. He just wants to bring so much positive energy and upliftment to you that I feel when he was here, he was quite a force to be reckoned with. You know, he feels like he was a very strong-minded person, but fair. Is that? And he's got so much love for you as well. But I feel he's given you the feeling of being a very special person, very kind and gentle man. A gentleman in the sense of being gentle, and also a gentleman in the sense of how he was and how he conducted himself. He's not, you know, obviously he's not opening up too much about the nature of some things that have happened, but he's just asked for that to be said so that you just have an extra bit of confirmation, so that you know it's him. But he said that will make sense to you. But I do feel that things are going to get better. He wants to give you that confidence to enable you to go forward and be the best version of you that you can be. Okay? So please take his love, take his strength and upliftment, and I'll leave all that with you, and thank you for working with me. You're welcome. I'm going to come to the lady there with the, yep. Oh. I've got a gentleman here, and I take it this lady's your friend. And feels like he's a father. Whether that's was it your father or father-in-law or something like that? Are they both here, or? It's like, he's being very jokey about it. It's like, a couple of little naughty schoolgirls. You know, you can imagine them at the back of a classroom and giggling. Well, what are you like is more what he's saying, but he's okay. He's come through because he just loves the dynamic between the two of you, how you work, how you support each other through the good times and the bad, and how you can sort of both lift each other up, and how you're just there for each other. It's almost like he's saying if one has a problem, the other one knows. as he's putting it, twins but not twins. In that sense, it's like this feels like there's quite this strong connection between you. It's just wow. But okay, you were a little monkey when you were younger, weren't you? He's just given me this impression that it's nothing that was ever sort of bad or anything like that, but you were, how can we put it? Free-willed is a good way of putting it. You weren't going to be tied down to doing things. If you wanted to do something, whatever happened, you were going to do it come hell or high water. I do feel he's just bringing these times back to remind you that there is still that sort of child within, and to just remember that every now and again, because for us the bravado, yeah. I know. I'll blame them. They always stick something in for me. But for all the good times that there have been, though, you have had your moments, as he's putting it. And there have been, those times when you have had to, rely on one another to pick the other one up. It's like if, say, something happened to you that was not so good, It's like, it was like almost, you'd be sitting by the phone before she rang you, and vice versa again. But it's just the fact that you've had this, maintained this bond, and you've had this link with each other for as long as you have. It's like, it brings so much joy to him. He loves it's a big word, vibrancy of your energy and your spirit. That gives him and others so much joy to see how you're living your life, and that not that different in some respects from all those years ago when you were grasshopper. And I do feel that's something, now that you've said that, that does feel like something that phrases like that he would have said to you. And I feel he had quite a soft spot for you, like, I wouldn't say favourite, but like daddy's little girl. You could get away with, not that you would have done it, but you could have got away with murder. It's just that impression that I get from him. Okay, slightly back down to earth, tone it down a bit. He's not, okay. There's a younger one who needs help at the moment. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to either one of you? If it's not happened yet, I feel this is, watch out for one of the younger members of the family. If they seem just to kind of withdraw a little bit, you'll notice it and you'll think, oh, maybe I'd better just sort of check in on them. I don't feel as it's happened yet. It's more something to watch out for sort of down the line. The reason he's bringing it to my attention is because you will be the one to draw out what's been going on, because I feel, again, coming back to the childlike links, you'll be able to relate to this child, and this child will feel comfortable with you and safe in saying what they've got to say to you. And I do feel that your dad will be there to oversee and help you with that. So back to the good fun stuff. Now, you just carry on living your life, have as much fun as you can, carry on doing what you're doing, and just, you know, have a party, have a ball. You know, whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, makes him happy too. So just go for it. So I think that's it now. Yep, he's said his piece and he'll be watching you. You know, so yeah, you might not think he is, you will be. But in a good, it feels like in a very sort of good, humoured way. So please take his love. Behave if you can. I think it's a big if, maybe. I think he's sort of joking a bit there, but you know, it's all meant in the good humour with which it's intended. So please take his love, and I'll leave that with both of you. So thank you for working with me. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is interesting. I feel like I'm being pulled in two directions. Where are we going with this? I found my two directions. Okay. As I was sitting there during the healing, I think I had a whole number of people. It was like I felt like I had a crowd behind me. Okay. I have to say, it is your dad. And you probably noticed anyway, but I do feel that when you went over to your mum, he was giving his input as well. And it's just like I'm sure some of it was bouncing up here, because as I was sitting there, I could sort of, because of what I said briefly before, I could sort of feel getting some of it myself. So certainly the more you got, as they say, the more people that ask for it, the more people that create that energy and move it around, the more it can help everyone. So, okay. He's now almost up there on the thing. It's like a big, bright, flashing neon light with changes. It's like, you know, yay wide, so high. And I do feel that both of you have had a lot of changes to deal with recently. And okay. To come to you briefly a moment, Linda. I feel more with you. He's been around you more recently in the respect of taking better care of yourself. Would that make sense to you? I do feel he's just been there giving you that extra encouragement, that extra support, just to keep you going. I mean, I know you're sort of pretty involved with things here, very busy, but I do feel that he has been around you more recently. Yes, he does come around you, but I do feel he's been around you more recently, just to give you a bit more upliftment, just to be there. And I do feel that you notice him at night when you go to bed. Sometimes just like feel something like that on the side of either on the side of your head or on the side of your face. And that's just his little way of, I'm here, darling. You know, that's just, he just wants to bring that through to you. Hey. But your changes, very proud of you for making the decision. Something I do feel he is referring, well, to quite a lot of things, particularly the Monday show. That was not an easy decision for you. But as I said before, you know, sometimes we know when we've taken something as far as we can. We know it's time for a change. It's good on you, boy. And I do feel this is something, the kind of thing he would have said to you when he was here, that sort of thing, you know, that very sort of, you know, and I do, oh, where are we going now? What about your book, boy?
Yeah, exactly his words again.
It's like, you know, he's eventually, it's,
Yeah.
and I do feel he's sort of laughing and joking a little bit with this. And it's like, if it been here, he'd have just been him. He'd have been the same. He would have still given that same advice, that same loving support. That's, you know, for what he did in life, he was still, you know, that very sort of caring, supportive role, and or to both of you. You know, he still is to you. He's, well, you know, you both know he still is to you. And you know, oh, he's making. Oh, that is just so much power and, well, emotional power and strength. It's like, oh wow. Make clench my.
That's what he would have done when he was trying to get his point across.
Right. Well, that, at least that makes sense to me. That's something good. But you have to sometimes let go of some things in order to be able to pursue others.
Yeah.
It's like, as I think I may have said earlier, sometimes you have to just, you have a lot of choices, but you can't do everything. You can't be everything to everyone unless you look after yourself first. And I do feel that stepping back from some of the things you've been doing recently, it's like it's been needed just to give you a bit of time, space, you know, and just to enable you to just do your thing.
Yeah.
It's, you'll get there. You know, it's, I just can't. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to have to say it again, because the amount of love that he has for both of you is phenomenal. More big birds. But well, I'm sure you'll know if you don't get things done, you'll get a large size, whatever it was.
Yeah. Don't forget the lace holes. Yeah.
But again, as I do for everything that he sort of ever did, was always with the best of intentions.
Absolutely.
You know, and I do feel in particular his support for you over the years has never wavered. You know, he, you know, it's feels like a very solid, upstanding and fair person.
Absolutely.
So, whew. For you, Linda, he just wants to leave you with some orange and pink roses. Just, if you haven't already got some, either go and get some or get somebody to help you get some, and put them in a nice vase on your table. He wants, you know, do a little something for yourself just to bring a bit of upliftment. Just bring a little bit of brightness and light into your life. And just keep being you.
Thank you.
That's all you can do. And if you need time away from things and away from people, it's okay to do that. You know, don't feel like you're letting anyone down. It's perfectly okay. If you want to carry on doing the things that you do, take that time for yourself. No problem in doing that. And I think he's pretty much done. Yep, he's off for a cup of tea now, so.
Absolutely would be. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So he just leaves his love with both of you, and I'll say thank you for working with me.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicola Warrington.
This is the first one.
Wow. Wow. I had to double check, but I have to say that you did yourself and Spirit proud.
Thank you.
Because what you may not realise is that outside of her own church, that's the first time Nicola has done a whole service, tout seul, all alone. You did awesome. You managed to shut them pair up. Yeah.
Because I really don't know what it was. And
Yeah.
it just wanted me to run around this room, to be fair.
Absolutely. Well, next time, so long as you keep clothes on, you can do it. It's. I believe in older traditions they would describe that as the power of spirit taking you up to a higher level of energy. We'll use that. Yeah, we'll keep that excuse and stick to it. But you also went to a couple of people that I always watch like a hawk, because they are very particular in terms of what they expect from their mediums. And I've got to say, you did blooming well with them pair as well. So notice the first person to start clapping. Absolutely. Thank you for a wonderful demonstration. I hope you are proud of yourself.
I am.
I know Spirit are. And I've got to say, it's not very often that I fully link into a medium anymore, because it's a bit rude. But you know, at the moment you said, right, okay, just before that last message,
Yeah.
I saw Dad standing with you. So I knew you were coming to either myself or Mother. And when you said, I'm torn in two directions, and I thought, well, there's my confirmation that I was right. And of course, you made that link as well. A wonderful demonstration of mediumship. And to come to someone else, I know you've been here a couple of times before, but to come here and do that all seemingly alone, you know you're not.
No, I know.
But to do that for yourself, especially with the weather the way it is, because I know it can sometimes cause difficulty, I know that Spirit are absolutely made up for you, and you should be proud of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicola Warrington. She done good, Gina. Well, it's not very often that I can say, how do you follow that? But how do you follow that? You don't. You just get on with it. Wonderful. I hope you've all had a wonderful evening. I hope you've all felt the joy, the upliftment, although probably not as much joy and upliftment as the front row, but you know, I think there was a bottleneck there, and it was just kind of like getting stuck as it was flowing out from the front. But we are, of course, back next week. We've got the wonderful Michael Gooch returning next week, who will be here as our medium. Lovely, lovely guy. And as I say every time, we did talk the first time he came here. I think we might be related somewhere back there, but we can't prove it for certain. And just also just to say that a number of very familiar mediums will be working. Michael, Stephen Rayner, who used to come quite a lot, myself, will be doing a psychic supper in what Friday the 13th of December. What a choice, eh?
However, we are sold out.
But you're
We are trying to get another couple of mediums that we can extend the ticket.
absolutely. So watch this space. There might be some more mediums. So Red Lodge. If you're out Red Lodge way, that'll be another good one. But of course, if you haven't already given your name to Mother about the 5th of October and you feel like a night out for a tenner with friends, with laughter and with upliftment, thank you, darling. Then feel free to stick your name with her. You don't have to pay until the night. But yeah, Red Lodge, 13th of December. Eunice, what's the date of 23rd of November? That is right, isn't it? 23rd of November, the Saturday, we've got our open day on here. So there's lots going on all around the place. These exciting, exciting times. But of course, in a moment, we are going to have a raffle and we are going to have some lovely cake. Thank you very much. We're going to have some lovely cake and tea and coffee, of course. I actually made 2 cups of coffee today that were well appreciated. So I must be getting my mojo back. Just don't ask me to make tea. If Peter Spillett's watching, I do apologise. But no, friends, let's join together and close this evening, shall we, in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together, to unite with love, with laughter, with friendship, with passion and truth, to absolutely witness the truth of Spirit, that life goes on, that we are eternal, and that joy reigns supreme in the world of Spirit. Let us take with us that message out into the world. Let us take with us that joy out into the world. And let us be vessels and messengers of that joy and never give an inch. So until we meet again, I ask a blessing be placed on each person here present, the friends and families that they represent, any person who hears these words, and anyone who couldn't make it tonight. And of course, anyone who needs it. Please send that love and upliftment out into the world. Until we meet again, in your name, amen.
Amen.
Friends, one last big thank you to our medium tonight, Nicola Warrington. We are going to say goodnight to everyone online before we have the raffle. Thank you all for joining us online. I'm going to come a little bit closer so that they can hear you all shouting, because they love the shouting. Their opportunity to shout back at me and deafen me after my good evening friends welcome at the beginning. But from all of us here to all of you out there, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Good night. And God bless you.